Good morning to everybody, and join with Miles in welcoming you all here today, either in the room or online. In my role as chair of the City UK's Leadership Council, I have had the privilege to be part of the work that Miles and his team are doing to champion UK financial and related professional services with policymakers, regulators, and key domestic stakeholders, here and overseas, promoting its role in supporting, enabling, and growing the UK economy. And as Miles has indicated in setting up the agenda for today, this work has never been more important than it is today. At a time when our international and domestic relationships are in a period of realignment, having been exposed to more change and uncertainty in the last few years than at any time in the previous 5 decades. The crises that were developing at our last conference have embedded themselves further, and with the possible exception of the pandemic, of which we're still continuing to feel the impacts today, the world is in arguably a more difficult and challenging place than it was even a year ago. Those conditions might leave us wondering how to respond. In one of my other roles, I am chairman of the MCC. So given it is the second day of the Lord's Test match, I hope you might indulge me in using a cricketing metaphor to illustrate my key themes this morning. And I hope the logic of my metaphor will be apparent even to those who don't share my enthusiasm for bat and ball, though I can't believe there's anybody who falls into that category. At the halfway point of 2023, the bowling at both ends of the wicket is hostile. At one end of the wicket, we have political uncertainty, from restoring relationships post-Brexit and responding to strained relationships between the US and China, to responding to Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine. And at the other end of the wicket, we have economic challenge, from supply chain disruption to a low-growth, high-inflation environment and the shock of rapidly rising interest rates. Underneath it all, environmental challenges are making for a tricky pitch, forcing us to rethink how we live, invest, and protect the sustainability of our economies and our way of life. If these are the risks we face, in the UK we're fortunate to have some of the best batters in the world. The professionals who work in our industry not only have the skills and expertise to address these risks and realize the opportunities, but collectively they also have the ability to enable growth across the whole economy, support people and businesses at various life stages, and make a substantial contribution to this country. This is perhaps best illustrated in having the largest sector trade surplus of any nation in the world. In cricket, we measure our batters by the number of innings they play, the absolute number of runs they score, the average number of runs they score before giving their wickets away, and their strike rate. For financial and related professional services, the metrics are broader. The number of international banks operating in London, our share of foreign direct investment, our share of foreign exchange transactions, our share of the world's investment assets, the number of people we employ right across the country, the strength of our exports, the importance of English law in setting contracts and resolving disputes, our high accounting standards, the tax revenues we generate for government, and many more besides. It's a complex score sheet, but on nearly all measures, we remain world class, a position which we should never take for granted, but which serves as a starting point for further continuous improvement. One particular strength is in innovation. At present, we have 37 of the top 50 fintechs, 6 of the top 10 headquartered here in the UK. And earlier this year, London overtook San Francisco as the leading destination for fintech funding for the first time. In the Lloyd's insurance market, my principal day job, we have hosted 100 startups in the Lloyd's Lab, which receives over 200 applications for every cohort, competing for just 10 places. 97% of participants in the Lloyd's Lab are still in operation, an exceptionally high survival rate in the cutthroat world of innovation, while 70% remain active in the London insurance market. Those innovators want to come here to access the UK's unrivaled insurance expertise, its unrivaled access to global markets, and its unmatched pool of specialist insurance, legal, accounting, and professional talent, which in the case of London is all within a stone's throw of the Lloyd's building. But even with this lineup of talent and expertise, our confidence has been dented by the uncertain bounce of the pitch and the multiplicity of challenges we've had to face. We've lost some early wickets. UK growth lags behind many of our peers. Recent political and economic uncertainty has impacted our reputation globally. The staying power of inflation has been badly underestimated by the central bank, while policy interventions in the US and EU have lured capital, investment, and trade away from our cities. In finance, our rates of growth in banking, insurance, and wealth management have slowed since 2018. This has caused commentators to ask whether the UK is in decline, whether our star has waned. But while we may have been trapped at the crease for an extended period, the answer to the challenges we face is not to hunker down, not to slow the pace and eke things out for a draw. The answer, of course, is to embrace baseball, the inspirational approach of the England men's cricket team to test match cricket. For those scratching their heads, the essence of baseball is to take more risk, to attack harder, to score faster, and in so doing, to put our opponents and our competitors under pressure, to have them respond to our style of play, to be leaders in setting the agenda, and to be brave. Most of all, it's about mindset and attitude. For financial and related professional services, this means embracing innovation, while putting more measured risk into the system, not less, backing those who work in our industry to find the solutions to the problems facing the world, whether in the development of carbon markets, the underwriting of insurance for ships transporting Ukrainian grain through the Black Sea, or the investment in life sciences and AI. And being willing to fail at times, even as we are ambitious to win. Vitally, it also means ensuring that our industry is open and attractive to the best talent. It would be wrong of me to use a cricketing analogy without acknowledging the Independent Commission on Equity in Cricket report published just on Tuesday this week, with its sobering comments on cricket's lack of diversity. And of course, we face similar criticisms in our own industry in recent years. While we can take some pride in the progress we've made, there is more, much more, that we must do to make our ecosystem more reflective of our country. The rising generation of future leaders is diverse, dynamic, and exciting, something I see every day at Lloyd's and in the work of the TheCityUK. So like the world of cricket, we must keep reforming ourselves to represent our communities. And like cricket, where England this week called up 18-year-old spinner Rian Ahmed to join the squad, we must keep embracing the diverse talent coming through our ranks. But it's not just the players and the coaches that must embrace the mindset. It is the umpires and administrators of the game, the politicians and regulators. Make no mistake, this is not a request for changing the rules. It's not about bringing the boundaries closer in or introducing one hand, one bounce as a way of making the game easier. This is about making sure that regulatory actions, whether in terms of the frequency of meetings with the regulators, the approval regime for new senior management appointments, or recovery and resolution plans, are proportionate to the size of the businesses being regulated and the policy objective regulators are seeking to achieve. In the last 12 months, it's been encouraging to see the government's policy agenda through the Edinburgh reforms, placing emphasis on competitiveness and growth as a secondary objective for regulators as part of the Financial Services and Markets Bill. This now needs to be matched by an equally ambitious response to promoting the growth agenda from our regulators. These reforms, implemented well, will help drive this change of mindset away from defensive strokes and towards confident ball striking, reinventing and reinvigorating our sector to lead and grow in coming years. The reform should be accompanied by the transparent reporting that allows us to show we're making processes quicker and more efficient for those seeking to grow here, while also keeping innovation at the heart of our system, creating capacity for the measured risk-taking and managed failure that form an essential part of the innovation life cycle. With enhanced government support and support from regulators, the industry has all the materials it needs to support innovation and growth in the coming years. As with the England men's cricket team, we have the talent and the personnel. We just need a mindset shift. And as we look at the opportunities, there are obvious places we must align. To highlight a key one, 90% of the global economy is now signed up to hitting net zero. So it's imperative that we throw our weight behind this monumental transition. A recent report from TheCityUK highlighted the opportunities around carbon trading, 90% of which is conducted on this side of the Atlantic, in a sector that has seen an annual growth rate of 56% in the last decade. The UK is becoming increasingly influential in this space, and with the first ever carbon credit insurance being developed in London, in the Lloyd's lab by insurtech Kita, it's clear we're teaming up across the financial ecosystem to deliver the opportunity. Over half of all sustainability startups are registered here in the UK, and with the UK government's green finance strategy supporting those efforts, we have made a strong start. The challenge is now to put our money where our mouth is, investing in green innovation and aligning our finance, policy and regulation behind this important growth area. Again, it starts with our mindset. One study estimated that coordinated action by global economies to tackle climate change could deliver $45 trillion of benefit to the world economy. Inaction will lead to $180 trillion of negative impact. We must not let our short-term reporting deadlines and the election cycles undermine the benefit we stand to gain from investing in the future. The long-term cost of inaction is far greater than the upfront cost of investment. But positive action, such as freeing up our pension funds to make better returns for pensioners while investing in the vital infrastructure our country needs, could unlock significant growth for the UK. This change of mindset will also allow us to unleash opportunities across digitalization, data, intangible assets, AI, and the host of other opportunities ahead of us. Needless to say, the advance of technology will not wait for us to clear out our in-tray. We must start now and with the backing and governance to enable those ideas to flourish. So despite fears that the UK is losing competitiveness, we can have confidence in our people and businesses right across this industry to play their part. We should not let the condition of the pitch and the opponents we face dent our confidence. Times of difficulty have always fueled innovation, and innovation is the lifeblood of growth. And like any top-class sporting professional, we should embrace competition and rising challenges as a spur to lifting our own game, and while developing the challenges in our own ranks. That mindset is clearly working for the England men's cricket team, with 11 wins from their last 14 games. So let's draw inspiration from them and adopt a baseball mindset, with confident batting and a front-footed approach to innovation in order to deliver the growth, policies and regulation that can get our economy back to winning ways. I look forward to seeing how we can collaborate across our sector and all its stakeholders to take advantage of the opportunities ahead, and believe today's opportunity for debate will be a real source of inspiration to many. Thank you for listening.